Hey guys, it's Jordan from Weller Health Education with Lehigh Valley Children's Hospital. Most of you may know me from coming into your schools in the previous school years. Maybe you've seen me before, or maybe you've even watched some of our YouTube videos that we did during the past school year. So this year, you might be in school, you might be at home. Regardless, we are talking to you guys today through this YouTube video. And today's topic is going to be about stress. So you might feel pretty stressed, not really knowing what's going on right now. Maybe you are going to school for 1 or 2 days. Maybe you're not going to school at all and you're learning through your computer. That can bring added stress. So we're going to talk about ways to deal with that stress in a positive manner. We're going to talk about what stress is, the effects it has on the body, and just what to do to overall feel a little bit less stressed out. And I think it's a really important topic because I think a lot of people right now are more stressed out than they normally are. So I hope you enjoy this video and I hope that you learned something new today. What do we already know about stress? So 83% of students report that school is a significant source of stress. So we have tons and tons of students who have a lot of stress because of school. 42% of students say they don't do enough to manage their stress, which is really important. So I'm going to talk to you guys today about ways that we can positively handle our stress so we do know what to do when our bodies are really stressed out. 37% of girls and 23% of boys reported feeling sad in the past month due to stress. So I know that I've felt sad because of stress before. You may have felt the same. And I know that I don't like to feel sad and I don't like to feel stressed. So we're going to discuss ways to make ourselves feel better in those situations to kind of take away from that stress that we're feeling. What exactly is stress? So stress is the uncomfortable feeling we get when we're worried, scared, angry, frustrated, or overwhelmed. Now, some of you might feel all of those things. Some of you might feel maybe 1 or 2 of those emotions. Maybe you're sitting there thinking, I don't feel any of those things when I'm stressed. And that's okay too. We're all different people. We're all stressed about different things. We're all going to feel differently when we're stressed out. So for me personally, when I'm stressed, I feel frustrated and I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I have a lot going on, a lot on my plate, and too much to get done with not a lot of time. So that's how stress affects me. That's what I feel. But what you might feel can be totally different. So we say that stress is the uncomfortable feeling that you get because for most people, stress is pretty uncomfortable. Different things could be stressing us out. One of the things that could be causing you stress right now is having to wear a mask. That might be something that you're not used to, but something that you had to start doing because of what's going on right now in our country. So you might be having to wear a mask to school, maybe when you go in the store with your parents or to dinner, whatever it may be. Just having to remember to wear a mask can be really stressful. I know for me, sometimes when I go to the store, I'll walk up to the doors and I'll be like, you know what? I forgot my mask and I have to go back to my car and get that mask. And it just adds a little bit more stress to your day. Maybe you're stressed about going back to school. Maybe it's a little bit different than what you're used to. Maybe you're only going a few days out of the week. Maybe you're going completely online or a mixture of both. Maybe you're back to school full time, but you're wearing a mask, or things are just a lot different than they were in the past, and that can cause you a lot of stress on top of your homework and your quizzes and your tests and all of that kind of stuff. Sports can cause us stress, or activities that we do after school. Maybe just not having a whole lot of time. Maybe your friends or your family cause you stress. Maybe you have an argument with someone or someone in your family is arguing. So there can be a lot of different things that cause us that stress. But just like anything, too much of something can be harmful. So too much stress can be overwhelming and bad for our bodies. When our bodies are stressed out for too long, different things are going to happen. Stress can affect our brain, so we can get headaches. We might have difficulty concentrating in school. Maybe it affects our mood. Maybe we're moody or angry, or sometimes I know when I'm stressed out, I kind of give people attitude because it's just a response that I have and I'm not really thinking about it. Maybe it's, we have brain fog. It's hard for us to concentrate or focus on things. Stress can also affect our gut or our stomach. We can have stomach aches, maybe bloating. Maybe it's hard for us to go to the bathroom. We're constipated, or just the opposite. Maybe we're vomiting. We're sick to our stomachs. We have diarrhea. That can all be from stress. Stress can also affect our muscles. So a lot of people, when they're stressed out, they're really tense. So maybe they have muscle aches or pains, muscle cramps or tightness. So our bodies can be really affected by stress. Me personally, I get really bad headaches behind my eyes. And I get really bad stomach aches. I get really bad stomach, stabbing pains. Kind of feels like someone's stabbing me in the gut. So that's how stress affects me. Just some other ways that stress affects the body. And I mentioned 3 of the most common, but you can see here in this picture that stress really affects all of our body systems. So depending on how your body responds, it could affect you in some way. It can affect your skin. So some people, they have acne or bad breakouts. Some people, their skin gets really dry, or the opposite, it gets really oily. I talked to you guys a little bit about the gut already. It can affect your immune system. I know it's kind of small, but it says decreased immune function. So basically, our immune system is what keeps us from getting sick. It fights off bacteria and infections. So if our immune system isn't working as well as it normally does because our bodies are stressed out, we actually could get sick a lot easier because our body has a much more difficult time fighting off the bacteria and infections. I talked about joints and muscles, cardiovascular. Basically, it just can increase your blood pressure and stuff like that. Probably won't affect you as kids as much as adults. And we talked about the brain as well. So I just included this picture so that you can see that it affects all different parts of the body. And stress can affect you as a kid, but it can also affect you as an adult as well. To avoid all of those effects that we just talked about, we want to be able to manage our stress in an appropriate way. So what are some good ways for us to manage our stress? The best ways to manage stress for you might be different for other people. So keep that in mind when I'm talking through this. You just want to make sure you're doing something positive, something healthy, something that makes you feel better. So think about things that you enjoy doing, things that make you happy. Those things will help you manage your stress. Exercise is a really great way to manage your stress. Maybe it's going outside and playing, riding a bike, playing a sport, going for a walk, whatever it may be. Exercise is a great way to manage stress because when we exercise, it releases something in our brain called endorphins, and endorphins naturally make us feel happier. For me, when I'm stressed out, my go-to thing to do is to exercise. Exercise always makes me feel a lot better. And I like to go for walks. I like to lift weights. I like to play sports. I like to run. So there are a lot of different ways that you can exercise and get your body moving. But I bet it will help you if you try that next time you're stressed. Hobbies or doing things you enjoy is another great thing that you can do to help relieve your stress. Reading, writing, coloring, drawing, listening to music, watching TV, playing video games, maybe making art or baking, hanging out with friends, dancing, maybe even watching TikTok videos or going on different apps that people enjoy. Just things that will get your mind off of the stress and can make you feel a little bit better. Personally, for me, my hobby is reading. Every time I'm stressed, I always make sure to make time to read because I know that it makes me feel better. Another way to relieve stress is to make sure that you're not overscheduling yourself. Make sure that you're planning things out. You're making sure you have enough time in your day. If you do have a lot to do, I suggest making a list. I like making lists because then I can check them off when I'm done and it makes me feel accomplished. So just try to not do too much. And if you are doing a lot, try to take a break from some of it. So maybe instead of playing 3 sports, you play 2, or maybe you do less activities. Or maybe if you don't have a whole lot of time, maybe wait to play video games until you're done with everything that you do. So make sure you're just not overscheduling yourself. Getting a good night of sleep is also really important. You guys need about 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, and getting a good night's sleep kind of sets the tone for the next day. I know when I get a good night of sleep, I wake up, I'm feeling refreshed, I'm kind of ready to take on what the day has to offer. But when I don't get a good night of sleep, I wake up, I'm super tired, I'm cranky, I'm in a bad mood. Usually the whole day I'm kind of negative because I am so tired. I'm just looking forward to when I can take a nap or go to sleep. And it really doesn't help me in any way. Most of the time, it just adds to that stress that I'm already feeling. So we want to make sure that we're getting a good night of sleep. We're turning the TV off, our cell phones off, our video games, and we're actually trying to get those 8 to 10 hours of sleep. But most importantly, we want to talk about what's going on in our lives. No matter how stressed we are, if we talk about it, we're always going to feel better. It feels so much better to get things off your chest and to talk about what's going on in your life. Make sure that you're talking to a trusted adult, someone that you feel comfortable talking to. Some good trusted adults in your life might be your parents or family members, teachers, school counselors, coaches, people in charge of activities, maybe even neighbors or family friends. So just find somebody you feel comfortable talking to and talk to them about what's going on. Maybe they can help you fix it, or maybe just listening and giving you advice could help you feel better. A lot of times for me, sometimes I just need to vent and get things off my chest, and I feel better almost right away. So make sure that you're talking about what's going on in your life. I hope that you guys learned something new today. I think that talking about our stressors and what's bothering us is really important. So make sure that you're talking about your stress. You're doing something to manage your stress positively. Do things that you enjoy. And make sure that that stress doesn't become too much for you to handle. I hope that you learned something new today, and thank you for watching this video.